NERDSoul.
Yeah, what's up? Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bring that street geek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of a little bit of on screen, a little bit of specials because I am joined by none other than the Space Bridge maker himself, right here, Arckatron.
Hello, people. It is me. It is I, Arckatron, and the place to be. ARCKATRON.com is where you can find me and all social media platforms too. But yeah, we here to do this thing today. Got a long time coming.
No. Yeah.
Long time.
We're in here talking about Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's all over. In a kind of not even bittersweet, kind of sweet send-off. I won't say that I'm mad at it at all. If you could, Arckatron, regale us with a tale of how you started. How did you get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and like how do you feel about the series now that we're kind of at the outset, at the end of it?
Okay, so I watched most of the blockbuster comic book movies in theaters. I was a theater goer of those kind of movies. So I was back to Batman, like Batman 1, like Keaton. Going way back, we used to go to the theaters and watch, those films. So when Iron Man came out and I watched that, I was like, ooh, this is something new.
Yep.
And the Hulk, I was like, no, but I didn't know they were doing a shared universe. So once, they did the shared universe and did the Avengers movie, that's when you see the Agent Coulson. You're like, oh, cool. And then he gets stabbed in his back. Like, oh, man, he dead. But then he's like, oh, this is a show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming out that deals with, this guy and, like, his crew. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll check it out. My coworker was always telling me about it. Shout out to Marnita. Shout out to
Marnita, what up?
Back in GOG. But, yeah, she told me, oh, you should watch the show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like a spinoff of, Avengers. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. Checked it out, and, it was rough, I would say, the first couple seasons, but I think season 3 and 4 is where it like elevated. But I just think and then 5 it gets a little weird. 6 is definitely a different. They tried some stuff, and then I think this season they just pulled out all the stops and tried even more some stuff. I feel they did it justice. No, not a disservice. Justice.
Yeah. I was on board for everything Marvel. So when I heard about the show, I was like, word, Coulson's dead, but I don't know how they're going to do this, but I'm going to watch it anyway. I watched about half of the first season, and I was like, I can't do this no more. This is whack. It's horrible, and I hate it. So I left it alone. I was like, I don't want to watch this show no more. And then shouts out to Kaiser, Chris. Chris. He was like, yo, man, it's on Netflix. You need to watch it. Get through the first season. It's bad, but trust me, towards the end of the second season, it gets good. So I was like, all right, let me go and eat my vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Let me go in there. And he's right. Around the middle of season 2, it starts to go from like time-wasting, middling, as you like, to like...
Middling. Is that like when Ward was like starting to become really bad and...
Yeah, we started getting to Double Agent Ward and stuff.
Double Agent
and
Ward,
that's when it started. I was like, okay.
You get into like Garrett. Garrett's there too. Yeah.
And then we see Garrett again, young Garrett.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So we start to get into some of that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right, now we got some Double Agent stuff. I'm not mad at this. Let's see where this goes. And they had me at the end of season 2. They had me. I came back for 3. Season 3, I believe, is the Ghost Rider season. What's that?
I think that was season. The Ghost Rider and LMD season was the same season. I think that was season 4.
Yeah, that might be 4. Yeah.
I think Hive was season 3. Hive.
Yeah. So season 3 came through strong, and I was like, okay, all right. And even now, if someone was to go back because they were like, about the hype, I'd say start at season 2 and just like figure it out.
It wouldn't be that hard to figure out. I think season 2, they still were working on. They're still working on who the characters were and like their connection with each other and stuff like that. So I think you stop at season 2, you're good. Season 1 is like a crash course of what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually do, at that time, what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's like a day-to-day.
Yeah, and I ended up liking it a lot and following it to the point where I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yes, the last season with the Shrike or whatever, I was like, ah.
Oh, it's season 6? Yeah, the Shrike and like, the Sarge and...
Yeah, with Super Coulson, you know what I'm saying?
They tried it.
I was like, but for the most part, it was no season has been worse than the first season. And even after season 2, they've all been varying degrees of good for me. I
think they're very entertaining too. Like this, like the imagination that they took the show that was just supposed to be like a localized American, world agency, but that not small. And they just made it global. And they went to space. They started messing with time. They got the Hive and that where he was, and that was crazy. The whole Hydra stuff, like the breaking down of like what Hydra was, like the origins and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
and then Ghost Rider stuff, LMD,
the Ghost Rider stuff. Because at first I was like, Ghost Rider, leave it alone, don't touch it. And then when I saw it, I was like, no. Actually, this is dope. So So
I wish we got that series, that spinoff.
Yo, yes.
Because they were talking about it with him, with Gabriel Luna.
Yep, I'd have been happy to have that. So I ended up, I finished it, last night, of course, with everybody else, and I'm actually it's weird. I'm happy that it's done, because I mean everything has to have an end, but it's kind of like, oh man, like the teams, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Even when Enoch was like, this is the last mission the team's gonna go on, and it was like, now that it's over, I'm like, I feel like they ended it well, but then I'm still like, they can only meet each other like, mentally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but with that said, let's go on and jump into the season. And we can talk about the series and the season 2. Okay. I guess I'll start off by saying, this is a season that I did not like the first half of. I didn't like this season until we got to the Inhumans again, which, because the ABC Inhumans series was not good.
I heard it was bad. I never watched it.
The pilot episode was like, okay, well, let's see what you're going to do with this. And then after that, oh,
wow.
Once they left the moon, it was just not great. They were like in Hawaii. But the first half of the season, I was just like, because you're time traveling, especially with people of color, but most especially someone who's Black. And you're not, once you go past by like the 70s.
Yeah.
And like, it's the Disney racism. So I was just like, I wish y'all just wouldn't do this, because now you're making it seem like it wasn't too bad. There were just people that felt discomfort. But and then also like the running around, Patton Oswalt and stuff, I was just like, nah. But when we got to the Inhumans,
well, you got beef with Patton?
It's weird. When Patton Oswalt tells stories of like what happened in Hollywood, I think it's interesting. When he's acting, I'm just like,
you got beef, man.
But I think he's a great storyteller. Like when he tells,
because he watches the show. I'm just saying,
because he watches the show. Patton Oswalt watches the show. What up? You know what I'm saying?
What up?
We cool. But when he tells stories about like the crazy things that he's experienced, that's actually funny to me. I think that's hilarious. Similar to like Kevin Smith, when he tells stories of the crazy stuff that goes on, I love it.
I listen to his podcast all the time with him and Mark Bernardin.
Yeah, but shouts to Mark, fan of the show.
Because he watched the show.
You know what I'm saying? Hey. But
I mean, there's a connection, because didn't you have like Malcolm, what's his last name?
Yeah, because I had Malcolm Barrett.
And he was on one of the episodes of theirs. So that's literally a 1 degree right there, sir.
Yep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Malcolm
I would if I was you.
Well, I had Malcolm Barrett on the rent party that Jason Reeves and Quinn McGowan put together. Virtual con, unlike any other. First time ever being done. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of dope music like Arckatron himself and a whole bunch of crazy, ill luminaries from indie comics came together. Malcolm Barrett came through. You know what I'm saying? It was hotness. But I digress. Once they got to the Inhumans, I was like, oh snap! Hold up. I think we're starting to get real now. Like something about that episode felt like, okay, so this is the real story y'all are telling.
Like you're talking about Iain and Cora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's attached to the main character of Daisy. Like because before it was like you're just bouncing in time, and each person is having their adventure, or Mac lost his parents again or whatever, and each like character has their own little thing in each timeline, and Daisy was kind of just running around with them. And now they lock it in. Yeah, like I think it was episode 5 or 6, something like you're talking about, right? Yeah. Where they start locking in.
Yeah, when they got to the Inhumans, the first time they got to the humans, not the second time, which was like episode 10 or something like that. But the first time, I was like, oh, okay, this seems like the story they're trying to tell. And after that, it got real. Like every episode mattered after that. And not saying that the first 4 or 5 were throwaway, but they just weren't as essential as the back 7.
But you still pick up things along the way, because they got Sousa. Agent Sousa was very vital to them getting to the end, which is crazy.
And also playing around with time allows him to be dead with Agent, because they were rubbing up against continuity, but the way they killed him or faked his death allowed him to still be dead with an Agent Carter's show, and allow him to still. But
at the end, Fitz was saying that once you do that, you're like on your own time stream. Yeah. So you kind of you have to go that, but that's what they explain in also the Avengers movies too. Yep. Like she was saying,
we're gonna go down. We're gonna match up
using the quantum realm. So no, they actually use something from the Avengers movie, like it's kind of almost a slight tie-in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean too.
Like, that's another thing that I thought was always kind of cool, is that they were able to keep that loose tie-in. They tried hard to tie it in season 1.
Yeah, they tried. They had Nick Fury on the show. You remember that?
They had Nick Fury on the show.
They had Maria Hill too.
Lady Sif on the show.
I think Maria Hill was on there too.
Yeah. Shouts out to the new Nick Fury though, Mac, because I was like, I see you.
You saw that.
I see you with the coat.
Mac Fury.
Yep, Mac Fury, man. Brand new Mac Fury.
# Mac Fury.
Yo, it's dope. But that's one thing that I was like, yo, they're starting to ramp this up. And even with the time travel, after that, it was solid. Enoch passed, and I was like,
that's when it got real, because the first time Enoch passed, we didn't think we were going to see him again. Remember, he like used himself to blow up the thing so they can get back.
We were like, whatever. And then this time, it really meant something, and especially when he was like, "This is going to be your last mission." I was like, oh. I was like, snap. I was like, we might be getting ready for an ending when everybody dies.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Now, I will say this. What do you think about Daisy dying and like immediately coming back?
You thought it should have been like, but I mean, it was like some Princess Leia thing, really.
Remember, Princess Leia. I was like, it's along the line, and I know you hate that Princess Leia.
Okay.
So when I saw that, I was like, I need to know what Arckatron thinks, because I know he hates that Princess Leia.
2 months ago, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And remember, Gamora was out in space for an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. It was like 5 minutes, it seemed like, because everything was in slow motion. But I'm like, she dead. Like, not she gonna live. She's dead. She frozen. Unless she got some kind of space skin or whatever. But how Quill gonna know that? I mean, maybe you know that, but I'm just saying that was a little suspect. That was a little bit too much time.
This one, I was like, the way the explosion went, I was like, how is there a body?
That's one thing. Maybe she quaked her and then maybe she put herself in the ball. Like, quake ball.
Quake ball.
She cloaked herself in the quake ball.
Yeah, and then
she group. They're like Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. Tie that back in like Groot did, you know.
You know, and she was outside like help, and then her sister came and was like, oh, also her sister, Dad Cora is she give Cora's a bad name, boy. Like, how you gonna look? She is so immature and like anyone could manipulate her. I feel like I could manipulate her.
It's like
dude killed your mama, and he was like, nah, I had to kill her because I love you so like much.
Have you watched Bandersnatch?
Nah. Oh yeah, I did.
But you know, you had to choose like the adventure, like you had to choose. It's like we choosing it for her. Like, no, do this. She's like, all right. Like, no, you gotta.
Okay.
Like, what do you stand for? Who are you standing with? So yeah, she was. She was a brat.
She said she wished she never had you, and you're such a good person. I had to kill her for you. He's like, what? So because I'm good, you had to kill her? What? Like, man, oh boy. Yeah. So, question: How do you like the relationship now that they're kind of back together of Mac and Yo-Yo?
Mac and Yo-Yo, Yo-Yo Mac,
Yo-Yo Mac.
I could do without it.
Okay.
Because I think they explored it way less this season.
Yeah, and I felt like they spent so much time on some like, I can't be with you. And I was like, look, y'all, like, just be together, man, so we can move on. Like,
yeah. Like, no, but that's how Fitz and Simmons were. Fitzsimmons were.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess, yeah.
They were like that for like 5 seasons, man.
Because they did act like they didn't like each other mad long. Because remember when they got dropped in the ocean?
Yeah, in the water. The water thing.
Didn't Ward drop him? I can't remember who dropped him.
Yeah, I think Ward dropped him. Yeah, and that's remember Fitz had he was stuttering and stuff. He had and it came back. He got his brain back, but that was crazy.
Yep.
He couldn't even speak sometimes. I was like, oh man, poor Fitz. Damn you, Ward.
Because Ward was one of those people who's like, are you good or not? Because like, I don't know.
No, but he played a good part. He was really good at it. I think like he was my favorite, like of the villains, like of the bad guys, like good to bad guys. Ward is the guy for me.
Yeah, Ward was dope. Also shouts out to this season's worst hair of the season, Sybil. Big shout out to Sybil.
Yeah, what
worst hair of the season.
Is it Tamara or is it Tamara?
Tamara, maybe? Yeah, maybe
Taylor. She was in Bones. I used to watch Bones. So I know about her.
Yeah,
and then she always had short hair. Or whatever.
She was the Dr. Lady in Bones. Yeah.
She could even like shade the head or something.
Yeah, and Lady Lisa. Shouts out to Lady Lisa. She was like, why people in the future always gotta have like dumb hair or something like that? She says, but it's true. Whenever you look at like future people, it's like they can't just have like a regular cut. They have to do something stupid.
They're gonna give her a fly hat or something. You know what I mean? It's something. Like give her something like a little, like the long like church hat. Give her one of them. You know what I mean?
Oh, the long church hat, like
with the big brim. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean?
And then she could have like lifted up her head, like
on some braiding or something. Like you lift up your head. Who's that?
Oh, you'd be like, who that?
Yeah, you could give her something, but
Sybil did prove to be a pretty decent villain. I think she's a better villain than the Shrike girl. I can't remember her name, but but that's because Sybil was able to get in the computers and stuff.
But my favorite was the LMD. What's her name?
Oh yeah, it wasn't
Ada.
Was it? Ada, not Ava. Ada. Yo,
Ada was the best.
Yo, Ada was. She was merciless. Because at first she was like, she's cool. And then she do something, you be like, can we trust her? We don't know if we could trust. Because she would just do weird stuff. Like she would be standing somewhere and you'd be like, I don't know how to gauge you. Like, are you evil or are you just
yeah.
Are you in processing?
But once she got in that
mode?
framework, she just started to take over. It was crazy. That was a crazy. The framework is probably my favorite part because they brought people back. Some people got brought back. We got Ward, but the nice
we got Ward back. We got the good Ward.
Yeah, the good Ward. It was dope to see that and like oh, remember she woke up next to Ward.
Yeah.
When she got plugged into the Matrix, you know what I'm saying? She got plugged in right next to Ward.
I was like, oh snap, this is kind of like the Matrix, and then how they tied that back into Ghost Rider and stuff. I was like, yo, this season is hotness. Like,
yeah, who wrote that season? But no, I think
together.
I think each season is different. Like each season is its own thing, and that's why this show, I feel like, for 7 seasons to run that long and to have that many episodes, I mean. Hats off. Hats off to them.
For the most part, you're talking about like 20 or so episodes. And so they definitely did a good job, especially in the Ghost Rider season, did a good job of like sectioning off like say like 7 or 8 episodes. So it was kind of like you were dealing with like an overarching problem, but then you had like these minor problems for like 5 episodes here and there.
Yeah.
Man, that thing was crazy. But yeah, Sybil's hair was stupid. The Chronicoms were dope though in the way they approached like stealing people's faces and just being like straight bolo about it. Not only do you steal somebody's face, but you don't even try to hide the body. You just leave it right there. Like you don't even like think about it. If you were supposed to be like sneaking and like pretending to be people, you'd be like, oh, let me steal his face, but then let me like.
But they had no
put
empathy.
Him in the closet
they didn't have that empathy. You know, they're missing.
Yeah, they got that empathy. Got that. That's right. Got that empathy from Ming-Na. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Agent May. You know what I'm saying?
Agent May.
Chun-Li for life.
I just watched Mandalorian again, so she's in that too.
Oh yeah. And the way they made it seem is like she gonna be back. I think she gonna be back.
You think so? Yeah, because someone was over there, right?
Yeah.
Over her body.
They at the end of the season they showed that it was Big Brother Almighty that walked up to her. So.
Oh, but wait, how did you know that? But I don't know. You know by his shoes or something?
No. They show him. What is it? Is it the second to last episode? It's one of the episodes where they show him walking and they show who it is, and you kind of like know it's him before the finale when he shows up at the OK Corral, basically.
Okay.
But
nerd people, man. Stop spoiling things, man. Let the fans let the fans breathe, man. Let them figure it out.
Big Brother Almighty.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope because Khadijah just watched it for the first time.
Mandalorian is
dope.
It's solid, man.
It's short, but it's solid.
Yeah, it's hard for me to be like, oh, this show is trash. Like,
no. We just watching it. We're going off, but we just watched Solo and it's not bad. I watched it the second time.
Solo's a joint that I'm actually not mad at either.
Fine, back to this.
But yeah, back to this.
Cut that out.
Chronicoms, and I like to see closest to the end. We got to see Malik and Sybil kind of at odds, and you got to see where he was like, "I'm supposed to run the world. Liberate the world."
Yeah, freedom. Bring freedom to everybody.
Freedom, everybody. Everybody get up.
His little dose of freedom.
Yeah, he was like, I remember because he was all mad, like, don't call me sir, blah, blah, blah. We're getting rid of all the hierarchies. I was like, yeah, but you're in control. You're in charge. So that's a hierarchy. Like, nobody's giving you orders for this operation. So you're tearing down the stuff just so you can be just like it? I'm like, nobody around you is like, hey, you're full of poop. Like, nobody's like,
yeah.
Nobody's sitting around like, hey, it's complete bull what you're doing right here. But he was like, I'm supposed to rule the world. Free people from the
free the people.
Free the people from oppression of systems. Like,
all these systems of oppression.
Sybil was like, ain't nobody think about you. She was like, there's 11%. And she, you know what I'm saying? He was like, Malik just dumb, man. Making mistakes. Blowing it. Screwing it up. the time loop episode. Which,
that was dope. That was dope.
One thing that I thought was really cool about it is when they went through the first time loop, since they brought it back far enough, they showed the title again. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, they did do that. Yeah.
I was like,
I like that they have different titles too. Like the titles, each one was kind of different. I was
they let you know you were in like a different vignette of the season.
Yeah, I think it's. It definitely redeemed itself in the last like couple seasons. I feel like this last season.
Like the last two seasons were like, because the last two seasons was what, Geek and the Shrike, right?
We just said Geek, going to space, like the future.
We went to because
the future.
And I'm glad Max said it. He was like, I can get out of all of these hallways because people have been dogging this show out. It's like, it's basically a series of hallways. They never go out. Because it's true. You watch this show, it's like, we're in another hallway. We're in another hallway.
All these hallways.
And we were in space, and space had the most hallways in the world. And I was like, man, look, when are we at? Is there a sunshine out there somewhere? Like, can we do something? But
it was bleak, man. It was bleak.
Geek and the Shrike, that kind of like, but Geek is a decent character. I'm not mad at Geek. I think this season.
He's a good addition. I think he was a good addition. And
he's in charge of the alternate timeline world. He's in charge of the
S.H.I.E.L.D. alternate new S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, so I guess you're in charge. He was like, yeah.
Yeah. So he's in charge of that timeline, which is crazy.
Yeah, because it's like S.H.I.E.L.D. with Geek in charge. Like, I mean, he means well. But he's no Coulson.
Maybe he'll learn this time, Like there's no one nothing to fall back on this time. He's on his own.
He'll be like a grizzled vet, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He'll learn his lesson.
But the thing I'm kind of sad about for Geek is like he had feelings for Quake.
Yeah, he was just like, you know what?
She wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. Yeah,
there was like 1 millisecond when she was like, I guess you could kind of get it, but then she was like, nah. It was like, because I think didn't he like sacrifice himself or almost sacrifice himself? And she was like, you know what, you could sort of get it. And then she was like, nah.
Yeah, it was something, a little moment.
You're a self-centered dude.
It was literally a moment.
You're trying to be like Jeff Bezos. Like, dude was stealing technology and trying to pretend like it was his own. Almost got killed for it. Oh man, that was funny. And then to find out like his girlfriend it wasn't his girlfriend. Like his assistant was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that was like supposed to be there taking care of him because he was stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, Geek. Hopefully he'll be all right. We hope he'll be.
Yeah, all right. I think he'll be all right.
Sousa is a solid guy. You know what I'm saying? Sousa's a solid guy. And he found love again. After.
But my thing is, how old is Sousa though?
Sousa, I mean, he's not super old. Is he super old? Well, I mean, they took him out of time, so I mean, he was like an adult, but I mean, he's not like.
I'm just saying, him and Daisy's age. How old Daisy?
Daisy do seem kind of young for him. How old is Daisy? Because now that we asked that question, it's not that I have anything against Sousa, but now I am starting to wonder, how old is Sousa and how old is Daisy? Because Daisy is presented as like this younger woman, 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, Sousa, I'm looking at him right now. I'm looking at the real people. I'm going to see what the real people are.
Even in the Agent of Carter show, was presented as like a established agent that you would think is probably close to 40. If not 40 already. 40, 41, 42, something like that. Early 40s. And so, yeah, that's interesting.
I'm looking at him right now.
Because now as you said, don't he got a little gray in his hair?
He got a little gray in his hair. I'm just saying. He ain't no young whippersnapper.
You know what I'm saying? They're both adults. Plus, he's not in his right timeline, so it's a little different.
All right. But, I mean, these actors are 40-year-old and 28-year-old, so it's not too bad.
All right, 40 and 28.
Because you got to think we've been with probably Daisy since she was. How old do you think Daisy was? first episode.
When we met Daisy, I assumed she was probably like 22, something like that. Like
the math adds up. Then we've been at the show for 7 years, 29, 28.
So okay. I guess that
she about to be 30. Daisy about to be 30.
Yeah, but
Susan's like probably 40. He like 40.
So all right, so Sousa, so you're talking about a 12-year difference. 12 years is kind of a lot.
It's not that bad though. It's not that bad.
I mean, I guess they're both adults.
Yeah.
12 years.
At least she's been an adult for almost 10 years. So it's enough time.
You've been an adult for
you start to figure it out like 28. You really start to figure it out about 28.
Yeah,
you got to figure it about 28.
You start figuring things out around 28, 30 or so. Like after 30, you should be done with a good amount of the dumb stuff. Not you still doing dumb stuff in your 30s, but you should. There's certain things you should probably put to bed after 30.
So I think it's age.
The internet has shown us differently, but you'd be online looking at some of your friends on Facebook or Twitter, be like scrolling around, be like, ain't you 40?
But I be on my Facebook. My Facebook is literally like nothing on my wall. Remember back in the days when you had Facebook and you just had a wall and you had nothing there? That's how my Facebook is. I have nothing there.
Zero.
Nothing shows up. I just go in and I just go to people's pages like I used to do. I'll go to your page. I go to NERDSoul page, look to see what you're doing, and I dip off. And that's it. That's how I see my Facebook. I wish I could do it on Instagram. Like no feed. I don't want a feed. I don't need a feed.
I'll just go see what I want.
Yeah, because they don't put it in order. Like I want to see things in order.
Yeah, I hate
Twitter does it. Finally did it where you can switch it, but it's still you got to switch it.
Yeah, I hated the fact that they changed that where it's like not chronological anymore.
It's just jumbled, and I'm a chronological dude, so this is just
it was dope when it was chronological, and then
I wouldn't miss nothing.
Then they changed it, and I'm like, yo, what? Hold up, this was posted 2 days ago. Why am I?
And now they got the thing where if you scroll too far, it got the it'd be like other suggestion pages. It'd be like you've been too far.
I don't want no suggestions.
And I'm like, wait, who? I ain't following these people. Who are these people? And I look, I was like, they got me. That's a new thing now with the app.
Don't suggest nothing. But all right, so another thing that I like this season was with the the leaving behind of Enoch, which kind of became a joke. We see that all of that was kind of like part of this long drawn out plan, which finally with time travel was only like seconds for like, Fitz and Simmons, but leaving stuff behind, going back. And then even in the last episode, you see that they kind of become part of their own time loop because they've already changed time sort of before. Yeah. So it's like, that's another thing you wonder, were they in this loop losing constantly until this time where they broke it? We'll never know. That's just
I don't think so.
Time travel babble that people can.
They just set it up that way so they wouldn't lose time. Because remember, Enoch said it that it doesn't matter how fast you build the time machine, you can just go back to the time when you were building, like before in the time, you can just go back and just loop. So maybe they were in the loop, but I didn't see them like cross paths with themselves. We saw like some of the other characters. Remember, they were helping them up. They were themselves, but that was a cross. But they couldn't see themselves because they saw themselves. Also,
that throws us back to last season where it's like, oh snap! I was like,
exactly when they picked everyone up, and I was like, oh, that's them. But that's them moving forward. That's crazy that they did that.
Yeah,
I love shows or movies when they deal with time travel. It's just like something that's just fascinating, and like I like actually how this Marvel universe is handling time travel.
Yeah,
and it's like its own rules. Like this is how Marvel travels, time travel.
Yeah.
Based
like,
on
this is how we handle it.
Endgame. Endgame is where it started.
It's like once we do this, y'all started going on this timeline. But what we got to do is take the quantum realm and go back down. And I was like, okay, cool, word. So we're basically following sort of like the time streams and stuff that even the ancient one was talking about. Already.
Yeah, like when things change, there's a new time stream.
Yeah, like once you can do something, and I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool.
That's a good way to handle it. So they brought that same thing to the show, like the same concept to the show using the quantum realm. I did like that.
I do like the fact that they did that because that allowed Coulson to make that statement about, hey, if we leave, we still leave these people with the Chronocoms. And he was like, all right, we'll check it. We'll take them with us and we'll defeat them there. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. And
that was good. I like Coulson can't die in some. He just can't die. Coulson been dead like 4 times.
All right, let's see. He died in Avengers. He died in the show in season 2. He died.
When was that?
4. Season 2, when they brought him. That was when they brought him back, and he was drawing on the walls and stuff.
Oh yeah, but what did he die? Oh, this is just that's because they brought him back.
Can't remember.
He was already brought back when we met him, and then we had the history of how they brought him back. It was like woven in there, and that's why he started drawing the stuff. Yeah, season 2. Yeah.
So all right, so we got. So he's died that I can think of. Yeah, I think 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times, yeah.
But I think they said 7 on the show. But of course, that's. They saw the time stream, so there's probably some off-camera deaths we don't know about.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this show for May, we got to see May throw down.
I just thought about something.
Oh, go ahead.
Remember when Fitz died? Remember they were saying each show was telling how many times they've died. Fitz died. I forgot about this, and that's why Gemma went to the space to find Fitz back when they were in the space episode in space season in 5. Whoa, I just remember that.
Yo, cause that space season is a blur for me.
Yeah.
Cause I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was.
But some elements of it was necessary to get to where we are now, which was dope with Flint and the whole obelisk thing. Flint
and making them. Yeah, he made like a little baby one for him.
Little baby time obelisk, little time.
And I was kind of mad that he never got a larger role in the show. Because I was like, yo, he looks kind of sweet. He got like the cape over one shoulder. He can like mess with rocks. You know what I'm saying? We can use him.
And his name is Flint.
His name is Flint.
Flint Rock.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Red rocks. But we got to see the cavalry, you know what I'm saying, in the ship. So I thought that was cool. A nice reference to that again. We got to see how Cora brought up Meg killing the kid, which kind of needed to happen. I know that sounds bad, but the girl was out of control, and it was,
killing who? Who you talking about?
Remember when they called her in? It was that little girl with powers, and that she had to kill her. Remember,
you talking about the Calvin from back in the days, Lorraine and what show they was talking about, right?
Yeah. And she had to kill that girl. Cora brought that up. And it's like, well, she kind of had to. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have another real choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe jail for life, but I mean, is that any better? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But Cora was like, y'all
they get left at the raft. They're going to put it in the raft.
Yeah, but come on, man. What kind of life is that? I mean, you might as well be there.
Hey, it ain't no life, but hey, you still living. You still breathing. Still thinking.
Still breathing.
Hey, that's life. I'm not saying you can't go nowhere, but I'm just saying you might be able to get some air occasionally.
Yeah.
Maybe.
True. And it might be a prison break, so maybe maybe get a chance to get
Steve Rogers broke in there.
Yep. And there was a raft breakout in the comics before. So I mean, you know what? You're right. Maybe if she went to the raft, she could have a opportunity to probably there be a breakout, and then she could get,
She gotta seize the opportunity.
Good point. I'll let this. But for the good guys, chitty chitty bang bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't gonna catch me. Nope. Dead. You cut off. Man. But this season and all, I enjoyed it. I feel it was a return to form. And not only a return to form, but a great way to send these characters off. With the kid, with Coulson Academy, with Mac being, Mac Fury.
Mac Fury. Hashtag Mac Fury.
With Yo-Yo getting out of a speeding car with the two that was always arguing over like driving.
Yeah. That's what her gift was, to bring him back. That was the gift. Remember Fitz was saying, that's the gift.
Anything you want. So brought him back. He driving fast, and she just got out of the car.
Because he had a strike. He was going to die with the strike, right?
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Took an L, and you know what I'm saying? Never ever
took everybody out.
The strike was not playing. And you had your girl Yo-Yo. She lost her power, then got her power back. Well, no, hold up. Let's see. She went through the framework, got her arm chopped off, then got her arm back. Then it was a metal arm.
No, she didn't lose her arm in the framework. She lost her arm because Rosie, whatever. Remember the daughter?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Rosie. Yeah, so she lost her arm with that. Then had a metal arm. Then got the real arm. Then lost the powers because of strike. Then got the powers back because of the Inhumans. And then now she's like super sweet because now she can do more than just back and forth. Now she can just go wherever she wants.
Yeah, she's just basically Flash now, basically.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. She good now. She was like,
Is that a character you heard before? Or that's a new character they developed.
No, I think she's a character from the comics. I assume so, but you never know because sometimes they will, like Harley Quinn wasn't in the comics at first.
Yeah.
Made her, you know what I'm saying. So they could have made her for the show, but you know what I'm saying. She living her life. The thing I like about it is because everybody moved on in a way that's believable. And a way that's kind of like positive. You know what I'm saying? You got Coulson, he's back in the Corvette again. You got Sousa and Daisy. 40 and 28. But hey. Look, it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Then of course Mac Fury. You got of course Melinda May teaching them kids. Once she talked about how hard it was, I was like, what are you, a training recruit or something? Like you were a training officer? Because I was like, this is the only thing that you're going to be like, I don't like dealing with kids. So I knew it. I was like, but I did have a little hope holding out for Coulson and May to kind of like rekindle something. Because remember when they kissed each other, when they finally had that like moment where they broke down? He was like, I love you, girl.
I don't think so, man. He a robot, man.
Well, yeah, he is a robot now. So I guess, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I didn't want to see that. They already did that, man. Remember they did that. That's how the season 5 ended.
Yeah. So I guess they already, they put that to bed.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, any other thoughts before we throw it to people in the comments?
Nah, I just think it was a good ending to a good show. Overall good show. Like good to middle in between good and great show.
Yeah, a show that started off in a way where I wasn't even interested and became a show that I was like, you know what? It's solid and worth watching, worth your time. So guys, before we get out of here, in the square right here, we have ARC, Father Part 3. Arckatron, say what's up.
You can find me at Arckatron.com. Space Bridge is out, Subtle Business is out, and 13 other albums are out on Arckatron.com. Also, I'm doing some gaming stuff on the low. I got my own website coming. I'm doing some things in the background. Got some stuff going on in the background.
You still got some Marvel Contest of Champions? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Marvel Contest of Champions. I'm going to be doing some playing music with it and stuff like that. Some combine the music and my music together. So we'll talk about that later. But, I have some more announcements. But check out Arckatron.com. I'm updating the site and giving you all the updates there. right. Where can we find you, NERDSoul?
NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The main hub is here on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. If you hit that thumbs down, I'm gonna send Sybil after you. All right. Now, all she's gonna tell you is you're gonna have that weird hat hair. It's gonna be stupid, and you ain't gonna like it. Podcast. If you rather listen, we got Spotify music for you. Holla at the kid down low. Let's talk about this amazing show that really turned it around for me and became something that I'm happy and sad to see go. So, from us to you, thanks for watching and peace.
Peace. And root for you.